Joining us this morning, we have psychotherapist Olivia Verhulst, Director of Innovation at Tone House, James McMillian, and registered dietitian and nutritionist, Maya Feller.
Yes,
Look at those pictures, you guys.
All three of you look amazing. Looking
Hey,
good, everybody.
here they are.
Looking good.
Here they are in the flesh. So thank you all for being here, first of all.
Thank you. Honored.
Let's start with the resolution.
Yeah.
The intention setting. I've spoken to all three of you about this word. We all feel a certain type of way. But talk to us about, Olivia, we'll start with you, the habits that we can create so that we don't feel shame, we don't set ourselves up for failure, and we sort of ease our way into living our best lives.
Sure.
No pressure.
Not at all. I'll start a little bit with the barriers to creating those healthy habits. So reportedly, New Year's resolutions do have a small percentage of being met. And as a therapist, to your point before, often I'm hearing about shame, guilt, failure associated with that. Meanwhile, we're kind of setting ourselves up to fail in the following ways. One is quick or abrupt fixes. Like quick fixes to long-standing problems are going to have a half-life. Another is unrealistic goal setting. So maybe the goals are too big, too vague, they're lacking specificity, they're lacking congruence to your routine. And another is perhaps you're not self-reflecting on the barriers last time we might have tried to do this goal that were in place, and your why. What are these goals anchored on?
The specific goal.
Well, yes, right. And I think a lot of folks set the bar so high right off the bat, right? And we brought you both in because a lot of people's goals surround health. Like I say, well, my arms are going to look like yours. and then they don't after the month of January, right? So then I give up. So then I'm like, well, there goes the gym routine. But it's the realistic expectation, and workouts are such a big part of it. So where do people kind of start that and kind of managing a realistic expectation?
So you always have to think about it. We're a product of our environment. So we have social media now. So what people do, they set over ambitious goals, and you don't want to do that. You want to set short-term goals to lead to a long-term goal. All right. So what I would tell people is stick to routine, because when you stick to routine, you think about your actual schedule. We sometimes avoid thinking about that. We have kids, we have a job. So sometimes that gets in the way, and people feel that pressure like, oh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not adequate enough to actually get my training in. But no, you can. When you set the routine, maybe you have to do it early in the morning, maybe you have to do it later at night, but try to set those short-term goals to get to your long-term.
And be consistent.
Yes, it's all about consistency.
Because even if it's just one day you do 20 minutes, or one day you're like, you know what, I need to sleep today, but I'm going to get after it tomorrow.
Yes, what I tell my clients always, think about what it actually takes to get to the goal. Maybe it's more sleep. Maybe you have to get better water intake. Think about your diet. Things like that will lead you to your goal.
We're all grabbing our water.
Yes.
We're all taking it.
Yes, 3 liters. Make sure you get 3 liters.
That's right.
Yes, exactly.
Maya, dietitian, but overall, I mean, holistically, you look at the whole person. Also, her farmer's market hauls, if you're not following her. But it also, I will see your haul, and I'm like, oh gosh, you know what? I need to eat more greens today. So how do we forgive ourselves, or not forgive, that's a terrible way of putting it. How do we give ourselves the grace to say, you know what? I did just eat a whole tray of lasagna. But that's okay.
So to your point, I actually think about adding. Right? Like, what is that thing that you can add to your pattern? So you had the lasagna, maybe you had the whole tray, but is there a vegetable? Is there a fruit? Is there a legume that you can add to it? And you want to start with the things that you know, that you like and that you love, and you want them to be accessible, you want them to be affordable, and you also want it to be something that can come back into your pattern of eating regularly. So I talk about these things that are culturally relevant and foods that love your metabolic health back. So you love it, and it also loves your body back.
I love a legume.
Listen, I love a legume also.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
A legume.
I haven't heard. I love it. But let me talk to you about the month of January, right? Because I think, like, in particular, January is always this reset month, but in this year, there was a lot of change in January, right? So that can affect in people's psyche of how they're going to do things, and okay, well, maybe I'll just push it off till next month as well.
Yeah. Oh, so much to say about the year of January. At least I felt that way. A lot of tragedies and trauma are going on in the world, and so a lot of people are affected by this. What I hear in my practice often is this experience of existential dread or communal grief. And in many ways, I am encouraging people to come back to the basics, basic healthy habits. And that can look like honing in on your self-care template, what that looks like regularly, leaning on your community for healing and empowerment. Relational health is so important to our mental health. And then coming back to the basics like sleep hygiene and body movement.
Yeah.
So let's not overlook those.
You just mentioned something, relational health.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Because I think it's worthy of a quick definition.
Yeah, our relational health are those connections in our life that we are constantly nurturing and nourishing, not just ones that exist that like we don't check in on a lot.
Right.
So our relation health, it's how we show up to these relationships in our life, and it has a huge impact on our mental wellness.
Can you just briefly, real quick, we're almost out of time, for both of you, why gyms are so crowded the first 2 weeks and then whatever. And then same thing with people's diets, right? They're like super, super healthy, whatever. And it just kind of crashes, and it happens every year.
Yes. So I would say everybody sets the goal with being healthier. So that starts with how they want to look. So they're thinking, okay, let me go to the gym and I'll look better. I would always say, yes, get into community. Get a community, a local gym. Maybe you have your friends or your family, like I mentioned, with your son, is like get involved so that you could keep those goals going and challenge each other. So that's the greatest thing about having that community. But when they fall off, it's due to career, it's due to kids, it's due to those little things, and then they stop going. So.
It's the same with nutrition. Life will life. And so we often set these goals based on what we see social media doing, right? So they're like okra water. Yeah, super sexy. However,
okra water? That's a thing now?
Listen, it's a thing. But then I'm like, hey, what about having some plantains and some greens, right? So it's like these expectations that you're going to be extreme. And we've got uncredentialed folks out there giving all of this information, creating even more confusion, no fact checking. And so what I say is tone back into yourself, right? Dive into you. Think about what can I do now, small incremental changes that are realistic for you. What worked for you may not work for me. And so we've got to find the things specifically from a nutrition perspective that are based in sound evidence and are coming from credentialed professionals.
You just said that to me today. What works for you will not work for me. That's what you just said. That.
We were talking about supplements, and I said, just because I take these doesn't mean that they're going to work for you.
Exactly.
Right.
Well said.